Hello everyone, this is Kuroku Speaks coming at you with another video. I apologize that my videos have been a lot more sporadic suddenly. I don't really have much time with, homework and the dog. I have to be out in the living room like a lot of the time, so I don't get much time to sit back and do these as much as I would like to. I'm sorry if my voice gets higher or lower. I'm trying not to awaken or attract anyone who is currently sleeping in my house, considering it is 11 o'clock at night. I don't like doing these during the week because my mom has to sleep on the couch. And because of that, I'm constantly afraid that I'm going to wake her up. And it's like, I highly doubt it, but it's like that looming fear, Anyway, I wanted to first say that I am currently at 47 subscribers, and I am so grateful and really excited because, it's like really, when I first made this, I didn't think that anyone would even pay attention to it. I thought people were going to be like, wow, just another, little punk throwing out her random ideas of what a character should be. And I'm just really happy that people saw it for what it was and not as, just some little kid trying to get like 5 minutes of fame. On that note, I want to do something special for my 50 subscribers, and I'm not really sure what I should do, so I thought I would not really suggest, ask you guys, all of you watchers, even people who aren't my subscribers, what do you think I should do for a 50 subscriber video? Like, I don't have anything spectacular in mind, but I'm sure I could do something. I want to do something because I hate not being able to do things, and that's always been my problem with DeviantArt. I'm at like 300 plus watchers, and I don't really know how to thank everyone, so it's like, it's one of those things where I feel so guilty because I can't give everyone so much more because I'm so grateful. So yeah, it's just, I really want to do something at least a little bit special. So if you guys have any suggestions, please just put them in the comments or message me on DeviantArt or something like that. I have like Twitter. I want to get a Tumblr soon. I got Weasel, I got DeviantArt. You can just come find me on any of those and hit me up and tell me what you think I should do. Yeah, so that's that. Today I am reviewing a creepypasta OC, and this is by the same person who created my persona design, Mia-Lunaria, and I will put a link in the description to her character, and let's go. Full name: Chrysler Jean Rex Imperial. Yes, like the car, but it is the name of a rose. Chrysler is? Really? I didn't know that. I thought Chrysler was just, oh, that's kind of cool. However, and I say this for everyone, with Chrysler and maybe even Imperial, try to put how to pronounce it, because while Chrysler is a tech, like everyone knows how to pronounce Chrysler, at least out here. Some people who do not speak English very well may not know how to pronounce it, and like I said before, it really does suck to be sitting there and say something wrong, and then, people pointing it out like, oh, that's not how you pronounce it, because I had a group of friends who used to yell at me because I mispronounced like Japanese like names and stuff, and it used to make me really mad. So it was like, why does it matter? Nicknames / alias: Rex. Age 23. What universe does this character live in? Creepypasta. Species: race: human. Theme song: Run to You by Pentatonics. I know them. Pentatonics? Run to You. That sounds like, is that, wasn't that Lady Antebellum? Was that their song? I think I'm probably wrong. I don't know. I know that there's a song called Run to You by them. Appearance / health. Hair, dark red / pink. Okay. I have to check. I have to look up. Eyes, rose / light pink. Daytime clothing, light gray blazer with jeans. Nighttime clothing, tattered and stretched white undershirt with jeans. Ooh. Something tells me his nighttime clothing is for something much more sinister. Notable facial features, makeup, etc. Notable features on / of body. Dark bruises on face and arm. Deep bite mark on neck. Overall health. Weak looking, sickly with pale, drained skin. Oh. Personality / voice. Positive personality traits. Optimistic, lighthearted, kind, sweetheart, romantic, innocent. Negative personality traits. Pushover, vulnerable, naive. Fears. Separation from his child, Rose. Drinks. Where did drinks come from? Okay. Quirks / habits. Gives roses to the people he's affectionate to, and special white roses to his daughter, Rose. That's cute. Insane, sane, descending into insanity or becoming sane. Descending into hysteria and mania. Goals / motivation. Find a wife that loves him and his daughter. Moral compass. Chaotic, neutral, for example. Neutral, good. Voice. Soft, warm, low, boyish, scared. Quotes. Optional. I'll be back before you wake up, I promise. Okay. I like to break things down. Okay. His personality traits are pretty good. I think like both the negative and the positive, because they kind of balance each other out. Fear is good. Habits, quirks. That's normal. The only thing I'd have to say is his voice, like, because like soft, warm, low, boyish, scared. Because it sounds like he like jumps between it. Like, you could say he has a soft, warm tone that sometimes sounds rather a soft, warm, low tone of voice that sometimes sounds rather boyish and scared, and like kind of make it seem like in certain situations maybe he sounds kind of more like boyish, because when you say boyish it sounds like he's a child, like he has a low voice but he's kind of childish. So maybe try to like make it when he's scared he sounds more boyish. The quote is pretty nice. Like, it shows that something's coming. His favorite stuff. Favorite flower is rose. Chrysler Imperial Rosa. Ah, that's cool. Food, spaghetti and wine. Place, summer on the beach. Color, red. Activities, playing in the park with Rose, painting. Others, new technology, new clothes, fancy vases for flowers. Least favorite. Flower, tulips. Food, steaks. Place, any vacation place in the mountains. That's understandable. Activities, exercising and cleaning. Others, bad, cheap wine, beer, dying flowers, promiscuous people. Sounds good. This is a very thorough bio. I like it. History / relationships. Birthplace, Venus, France. Family includes spouse, children, parents, siblings, or any other notable family member. Mother, deceased. Constance, Imperial. Father, unknown. Sister, 28 years. Danae? I don't know. Again, try to like put how to spell the name, at least the first name for some of them. I mean, I think Danae and Constance are pretty obvious, but again, and then Rose, who is his daughter. Friends slash allies, Eglanteria, the housemaid. Enemies slash rivals, daughter's mother, disappeared, Elsie, I don't know. Romantic interests slash crushes, Jane Bullock. That name, why is that familiar? Why is that familiar? That sounds really familiar. That really does sound familiar. Why does that, is that a person? Is it a real person? Because it sounds like it's a real person. Okay, here. Ethnicity, French. Overall history, raised with his mother and older sister, Rex was always a curious and soft-hearted child. He nicknamed himself after reading a children's book of the romantic Jean Rex. Yeah, it's Jean, right? A prince who valiantly fought and traveled the world just for one night with his princess. That's cool. Fighting information, abilities slash superpowers, teleportation, ability to turn into mist within the hour of midnight. Weapons slash gear, a rag soaked with ether to knock out a male, a pill bottle of ketamine, and GHB for women, and killing off people. Fighting style, not a fighter, will not confront anyone physically, turning to a mist instead. Strength, stealth and silent. Weaknesses, small children, which he loves. Skills, following people until they reach home and then safely asleep, or just sneaking up behind them and drugging them until they overdose and die. The whole teleportation thing sounds a bit weird if he's a human, because I mean, if he's a human, why does he how does he turn into mist? Like, he sounds more like he wouldn't be. Is he deceased? Is that what's going on? Is he actually not alive? Other people. Hold on. Extra character information. Rex doesn't ever appear to older people outside of the hour of midnight, which is when he lures them in or waits until they sleep, especially couples, to their death by date rape drug overdose. In the scene of the crime, he leaves a black rose with red blood-like splotches. During the day, he lures more children to a nearby park where their parents will be able to find them on the swings being pushed by what appears to be no one, and always the child will be holding a white or pink rose. So, I'm guessing that he's dead. Because if he's dead, the whole mist thing makes a lot more sense. Now we're off to read his story. I'm sorry, I assume things before reading the story, but I'm used to having things tell me right away, are they alive or dead? Okay, everyone, here's a disclaimer. Warning, contains strong/sensitive subjects and content, not for ages 14 and below. Also, disclaimer, I do not condone drunk driving, abuse, or rape. They are very negative situations, and this is not to be taken lightly or as comedy. So there you go, everyone. No, if you're not comfortable with any of these subjects, please don't listen to this. We don't want to make anyone uncomfortable here. But if you think you can stomach it, let's go. Oh, I have to read. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna butcher this probably. Are you ready for bed, Rose? Chrysler asked into his smartphone, speaking to his 4-year-old daughter, who meant the world to him as he drove in his Chrysler Imperial. That's a horrible pun. The pun. Yes, Daddy. Why aren't you tucking me in tonight? She asked innocently. Why do you have to go with that Jane lady? She's weird. Chrysler gave a small, sad sigh. Because she is smart and pretty and nice to Daddy, and we are going to have a few drinks and watch a movie tonight. But you still get to sleep over with Auntie Danae. I'm gonna call her Danae. We had a kid in our class named that, so. He answered to his little girl, having told her this before, but it didn't make it easier to hear her ask. "When are you coming back?" she asked, always full of questions. "I'll be back before you wake up, I promise, and then we can go to the park like you wanted," he said, smiling with the thought. I'm sorry, I have to scroll. "And you will take me on the swing?" she asked excitedly. The bed springs could be heard creaking with her bouncing up and down, making Chrysler chuckle. "Yes, I'll swing you super high on the swing set, but now you have to be a good girl and go to sleep," he said, hearing Rose sit still in the bed and crawl under the covers. "Okay, good night, Daddy. I love you," she said, yawning into the phone. "Good night, Rose. I love you more." "Gotta think of my family," he said, smiling uncontrollably. "I love you most," she said, her little voice trailing off as he heard her falling asleep on the phone. He hung up his phone, pulling into Jane Bullock's house. He turned off his phone and straightened his light gray blazer, his curly dark red hair pulled into a ponytail for the night. He grabbed the bouquet of flowers and got out of the car, taking the long, anxious walk to her front door. With a little hesitation, he knocked, and Jane stood there in a shimmery silver short dress, smiling widely at him. "Oh, I was just about to call. Come in. I've already poured us some wine, your favorite," she chirped, walking him inside and handing him a glass of wine. They talked all night, drinking a full bottle between the two of them and watching a romantic comedy, although neither of them paid any attention to the movie. Chrysler talked about his life so far as Jane kept feeding him more questions and refilling his glass, telling her about his home in France, about his mother and older sister, and his beloved daughter he adored. Jane smiled all the while, placing her hand warmly on his leg, rubbing his arm, and always laughing brightly. After a few hours, Chrysler began to feel funny and out of focus, like his mind was heavy, but he dismissed it due to the amount of wine he drank. His face was warm and he could not stop laughing. "Jane! Jane!" he called over playfully as she turned to look at him. "Yes, Rex?" she asked, leaning over him, making her face inches away from his. He tried to back up a bit, but he was pinned against the couch. "It's, getting late," he slurred slightly, shifting away from under her. "I love being here, but, I need to be getting home," he said. Jane's face turned into a scowl for a minuscule second. Then she beamed, smiling brightly and nodding her head. "Oh, God, I know where this is going." Of course, love, you can't drive like that, though. You can always stay here. I'll share my bed with you." "Oh, God," she insisted, but Chrysler shook his head. "No, I'll just call my sis," he said slowly, fumbling with his pockets for his smartphone. Jane put her hand on top of his. "Don't worry, if it's that important, I'll drive you," she offered with her bright smile. Chrysler wanted to protest, but didn't see any other logical choice. Besides, he trusted her. They'd been dating for 2 months now. "All right, here's the keys," he said, giving her the keys to his car as they began to go outside. They drove quietly. Chrysler mumbled something every now and again, but it was mostly gibberish, and Jane kept her eyes on the road with an expression of eternal debate, thinking deeply on some matter. She pulled up in front of his house and turned off the car, looking to him with bright eyes. Chrysler tried to get out of the car, but the doors were locked. Child-locked as he often had for Rose. "Jane, can you open the door, please?" he asked, but Jane unbuckled her seatbelt, reaching across the seats until she was over him. She reached out and took his face, forcing a kiss on him that he instantly rejected, pushing her away gently as possible. Although it required a bit more force than he thought, Jane pulled away and looked at him angrily, her eyes squinting in slits. "What the hell is wrong with you? Do you hate me or something? Even when you're dead drunk and drugged, you still push me away," she said, frustrated. Chrysler became nervous, looking at her with a confused expression, his mind swirling. "What? Drugged? Jane, I love you, but—" He tried to explain, but Jane moved on him, pulling out a rag soaked in some chemical and shoving it into his face. It smelled strong and foul, making him gag and push out at her. He struggled, but began to grow weak. His arms were sloshing around through a sea of thick mud. His body began to grow limp and numb, but he still fought against it. He didn't know why. "Well, you are going to love me tonight. We are going to have sex and you are going to like it," she growled, tearing off his blazer, cracking his head against the window in the process. "Seriously, what kind of guy doesn't want sex anyway?" "So many guys." "What kind of... my dad." "Anyways, don't worry, Rex. I know you will love it," she said cruelly to him, spitting his name like a slander. She pulled at his shirt, leaning on top of him to bite his neck and suck at it till a dark bruise appeared that began to bleed. Chrysler whimpered in pain. Unable to fend her off any more, he just pushed at her weakly whenever he could manage, and tried turning away from her. Jane became more demanding, ripping off his pants and then his boxers, staring down at him as he could do nothing but turn his face in embarrassment. "Why are you looking like that? You have quite a member. All it needs is a little motivation," she said, digging in her purse and taking out a bottle of Viagra. "Why?" She grabbed one of his arms, her nails digging into his flesh as she pinned his hand above his head. With the other hand she took all of the pills into her mouth and deeply kissed him, forcing him to swallow the medication. By now, Chrysler could barely see. His heart began pumping erratically, but his mind chugged along slowly. He saw her pull away from him, wiping her mouth, then move lower down his body. She began moving oddly. He felt her shift her weight to sit on top of him and take off her dress. Then he felt something very warm and uncomfortable, moving his body in a rough motion that made him feel sick to his stomach. The world faded from him, and he began to wonder how he even got here. Tears streamed down his face, knowing that he had no other choice left. He gurgled on his own blood, coming up in his throat and out his nose, feeling a large pain in his chest, but no feeling in the rest of his body except the burning down on him. He absent-mindedly wondered if he would ever take Rose to the park tomorrow, as his heart beat faster and faster until it burst completely. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Why? That freaking broke my heart. Oh my gosh. Ah. Well, first off, kudos to using female rape instead of male rape, and not having Chrysler very much enjoy it. That was really sad. Oh my god. Anyway, alright. Oh my god. Hold on, I gotta move. Oh, that was my knee. Okay. Let's see. To be honest, I don't really see him necessarily as creepypasta. While his story is sad and he's, I guess, a killer of sorts, he doesn't really seem like creepypasta material. He seems more just like just a random character kind of thing. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, the reason why he kills, it really doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no real reason why he kills, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, there's no, I mean, I understand because it says that ketamine or whatever can cause, psychosis and stuff like that. But, it doesn't sound like there's really, any real reason why he's killing. I mean, he just sounds like he's against it because, I mean, he got raped and Mac ended up killing him by, like, killing him by bursting his heart, but he instead goes and kills other people the same way he died. And I don't know. I mean, I understand, because maybe he just has that, like, deep revenge, the revenge lust. I think you need to note earlier on that he is indeed dead, because here I thought he wasn't dead. I figured he was, but I wasn't sure, and I thought, well, maybe there have been a few characters who've been alive, and they don't make sense, so I wasn't really sure. The storyline was really good. I personally liked it. You handled the subject well. You didn't go into some horribly deep, so you didn't go horribly deep into it. It was, it'll definitely need a disclaimer in the video, which I'll make sure to put. But, I overall, I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't really see him as, creepypasta material. Maybe he's just, I just see it as like a non-fandom type character, personally. And there's nothing wrong with those, like, don't get me wrong. I think non-fandom characters are probably some of the best, because they don't really have any limitations. They, I mean, yeah, you can use them in, like, different fandoms, but it's the characters that you can use in and out of fandoms that are my personal favorites, because they have so much characteristic, and they're so round, and they have so much to them that, they're not just stuck to one area, and when you leave that specific fandom, they can come with you. So I kind of see that he would be one of those type of characters. They would come with you and stuff. To be honest, I feel like you make him sound just a little too innocent. I mean, considering he has a daughter and stuff, you make him sound like he's just a little bit too innocent to sex. Like, I understand, like, he doesn't want to, like, no, that's not what I'm referring to. My referring is to, he seemed so clueless. And I understand that was, like, one of his traits, is he's naive and stuff, but, maybe have him catch on a bit sooner as to what she's planning to do. I like his, his storyline. I feel bad for Rose. You did really good. Like, it's fun to find good OCs. And I'm not saying that they're, like, a rarity or anything like that, but when it comes to creepypasta OCs, they're kind of hard to find. And when it comes to scary OCs in general, they're hard to find, because usually anymore people see scary as, I have big boobs, but I have bloody eyes and a bloody mouth. Gee, I am scary. And it's like, what are you gonna do? Suffocate me with your boobs? Oh, good lord. Oh, no. Like, it just seems like it's really ridiculous. And, like, all the guys want them, and then they go and seduce guys and then kill them. It's like, well, why don't you just be a prostitute? I mean, that's a pretty good gig. Then you don't have to worry about killing people. But, anyway, it's nice to find a few good OCs that are scary. And he's not necessarily scary, because I'm sorry, but I mean, like, I would be pretty creeped out if some bloody guy came into my room and then tried to drug me to death. But I mean, like, if I found this guy, my first reaction would be, oh my god, let me help you. Like, no, oh my god, you're scary, back away, you demon. And genuinely, that's what creepypasta is meant to be. It's meant to leave you awake at night looking behind your back because you're afraid. And that's actually, like, for example, SCP Foundation. Like, even the video game, I remember when I first joined the creepypasta community and I first got into it, I watched Markiplier play SCP Foundation. it took me probably close to a month before I could lay down in bed without having to look over my shoulder repeatedly at the thought of, well, what if something is behind me? So, my point is, like, things like that are really good. Things that make you not want to go to bed at night. Things that make you look over your shoulder or think, well, what if that's real? What if that's coming to me? And the fact that you don't really have who he goes after in particular, like, does he go after just strictly guys? Does he go after just strictly girls? Like, for an example, Veggie B. Bitchin's character, her newer one, she only goes after pretty girls and pretty women because she's jealous. She's angry because they're beautiful in her eyes, and she's no longer that. So she goes and she kills them. And my character, for example, she kills women, but she kills women because they are a female challenge, and my character is trying to find a male that will love her. So in turn, she kills females and children first because she wants to have the males to herself. So, I feel like for him, his main target would be women, because a woman is the one who harmed him, who raped him, who did this to him, and she took away his chances to see his rose again. So, my assumption would be that he would go after females. I could be wrong. You may see it as he goes after male. I don't know. I'm kind of just pitching ideas like always. I feel like I'm running this out. Kind of. Okay. Anyway. Overall, the character is really well made. As I've said multiple times now, I really do like him. To be honest, and I feel kind of bad about this, I thought he was a girl at first, personally. That's also because when I see hair up in a ponytail, that's like my first assumption. Now that I see him as a guy, I actually think that the look fits him, though, because he's kind, naive, things like that, and the longer hair seems to kind of fit him. All I can say is, image-wise, for the picture you've drawn, it really doesn't look like a dress shirt because there are no buttons. I don't think I've ever seen a dress shirt or an undershirt for a dress shirt without buttons, personally. I mean, I could be wrong, but I personally, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I personally have never seen anyone with, and maybe put some tears into his shirt and his pants, because he obviously put up a serious struggle against this, or not really a serious struggle, but she had to tear it off of him a little bit to get it to come off. So maybe have, like, if you do buttons, maybe have a few buttons broke off so the shirt is kind of open and stuff like that. Sorry, I don't even really draw that much anymore. I kind of like hit a riff, but I'm gonna just sit here and critique your art. No. Anyway, overall, I think it's really good. I just think you should reconsider the fandom that he's in, because technically you can make your whole universe, your own universe off of this, and then you can make it go any way you wanted, and yeah, that's how I feel about it, at least. I think that's all, honestly. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Veggie B. Bitchin because she's a freaking amazing person. And if it weren't for Veggie, I wouldn't be this popular right now. I heard that she's been going around telling people, like, yo, come over to Kuroku. So thank you very much. That really means a lot, Veggie. You are amazing. And just freaking amazing. So, once again, if you guys would be kind enough to give me what you guys think I should do for my 50 subscriber video, that would be fantastic, and I will thank you for it. You're all really awesome people, and I hope to see you in my next video. So have a great day, night, afternoon, whatever it is for you guys, and I will see you in the next video.